To the topic, historical perspective in IBank organization. As Shakespeare rightly said, the eyes are indeed the windows of the world and windows to the soul. It's very important to protect eye and vision. Cornea blindness ranked third among the world blindness after cataract and glaucoma. Nearly 10 million people are bilaterally blind. According to RAB's survey, 37.5 people are blind in 0 to 49 years, and it's second most common cause of blindness, more than 50 years. There's a big problem, and the only solution what we have is corneal transplant, and the most common transplant surgery done worldwide. And this is the importance of IBank. IBank plays a very important role in both effective, qualitative and quantitative corneal transplant. There's a considerable shortage about the availability of donor cornea, nearly 1 cornea for every 70 required, and we need minimum collection of 2 lakh tissues to perform 1 lakh corneal transplant annually. Coming to the history, we know Dr. Edward Conrad's started corneal transplant in 1905. As the history says, a 45-year-old farmer suffered from Lyme's injury and an 11-year-old boy suffered from Penning injury had come at the same time, and his both corneas were transplanted to the farmer. This is a photo of Edward Conrad performing surgeries, and you can see eye in the moist chamber. Though the history says the corneal transplant was started in 1905, but still there was a very less number of transplantation happening. That's because from the retrieval from the donor to the recipient, there was a shortage time and effective transplantation was not occurring. That's because we were lacking storage media. And that's the time when Tony Patton realized the importance of storage medium, and he started iBanking. In 1944, the world's first iBanking was started, known as iBank for Sight Restoration at New York, now known as Manhattan Eye and Ear Throat Hospital. If you see history, along with 1955, we have 27 ophthalmologists representing 12 iBanks started American Academy of Ophthalmology and Odontology, and then a committee of iBank was formed, and Tony Patton was chairman. In 1961, iBank Association of America was formed. This is a photo of Tony Patton with his colleagues during the formation of the committee. This is a photo of the first ever pledge form for eye donation. Along with Tony Patton in history, there was one eminent personality known as Ida Breckinridge. He was there in every step of Tony Patton. She realized the importance of social media press. She used to collect all the emotional stories of the patients who received the donor cornea and got vision, and she used to put it in newspapers, publish in articles, then known as New York Times Magazine, Reader's Digest, had all the information and the stories related. And public started knowing about it and directly increased the eye donation. She realized if the stories has to pass countries, she collaborated with Eastern Airlines, and Reader's Digest magazine was kept in every seat of the traveler. So people who traveled in flight used to read the stories and pass on the information. Coming to the history of India, we have a very rich history. Noble and selfless practice of eye donation was actually mentioned in ancient times, in ancient history. The legend Kanappa Nair, he's a hunter, and during his travel in forest, he saw Lord Shiva's eyes bleeding, and you can see the photo depicting with an arrow, he plucks out his eyes and donates to Lord Shiva. So the idea of donation, eye donation was there in ancient history, in texts. In 1945 was the first iBank, which was formed in Madras Eye Infirmary, now known as Regional Eye Institution of Ophthalmology, by Dr. R.E.S. Muttaya. He had performed his first corneal transplant in 1948. The Regional Institute of Ophthalmology, Chennai, was the oldest eye hospital in Asia and the second worldwide. The first iBank was 1944, and we had our own iBank in 1945, 1 year later. So we were very strong in ophthalmology department. In the history of 1960, we had Professor R.P. Danda and as well as Vasundhara Kalaver, who had started corneal transplant at Civil Hospital. There's a walk down memory lane of Dr. Vasundhara Kalaver. She was the first female corneal surgeon in India. The photo of Dr. Vasundhara and Professor R.P. Danda who during the All India conferences, and the photo of the first few corneal transplants presented. Coming to the history of Kerala, one of the smallest state but richest history, our iBank Association Kerala was started in 1970 in Little Flower Hospital under the guidance of Dr. Tony Fernandez. If you see the timeline domain, in 1976 was NPCB, which was established. By 1985 onwards, screening program for HIV and HPCG had started. In 1994 was the Transplantation of Human Organ Act established. In 1994, there was one big milestone of MK Media being prepared widely at Ramayam International Eye Bank as well as Rotary Aravind International Eye Bank. And then the latest addition in the timeline is 2018. the Central Motor Vehicles Act, in which they have made it compulsory for willingness of donation to be mentioned in driving license holders. So every person who's holding the driving license will directly will donate, are donors. So this has been implemented as of now only in 3 places: Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Chandigarh. It's not yet come to South India. So evolution over the past 6 decades shows tremendous history, and India stands one of the toppest in iBanking system in the world. Coming to the iBank system, when you say about iBank, it includes corneal donor screening, corneal retrieval, storage, evaluation, distribution, and the entire thing together is known as system, and every topic of this has been dealt by our eminent speakers today. In iBanking, we have 3 tier actually in the pyramid. The first one is the iBank Training Center, which has been established in RIOs. Then you have iBank at medical colleges and tertiary eye care center. Then you have retrieval center, the donation centers. Those will be the hospitals with a mortality rate more than 50. It's very important to know that the collection center cannot work alone. It should be always collaborated with the training center as well as iBanks. The members included in iBanking will be the board of directors, which includes the chairman, treasurer, secretary, a medical director, advisor, and it all works under an umbrella effect. You have board of directors, under that you have a medical director, then you have an iBank in charge, and you have the staff and technicians included in every step: recovery, screening, preparation, storage, and distribution. SOP, Standard Operating Protocol, should be established in every iBank, and this should follow the protocol of NPCB guidelines and as well as iBanking India guidelines. So what is the basic difference among the 3 tiers of pyramid? I'll just highlight the important points. When you're in collection center, you need an in-charge person as well as a counselor, but you don't need a board of directors or medical director in a collection center. Related to the equipments, you need a 24 hours working refrigerator, as well as you need instruments for cleaning and storage for a collection center. But when you see a slit lamp, microscope, then you have a specular microscope, you have lamellar flow head, autoclaving, all these are not required for collection center, but is required for the tertiary care center and iBank. Now, how do you register? It's been registered under 1994 Transplantation Act and 2014 HOTA registration. The form is Form 15. Collection center, there is no need for registration under HOTA registration, but should be informed under health authorities. Initially, all these protocols used to take place directly with NPCB. Now we have a system called as KSOTO, Kerala State Organ and Tissue Transplantation Act. Myself and Anil sir are the members of KSOTO of Kerala State. And now we have the certificate of Form 16 is a certificate what we get after the application, and Form 17 is for renewal. The most important step or the most important backbone of eye donation is not the system alone. System, yes, we need, but the most important step is awareness. So bringing awareness is important step for iBanking itself. Just because my topic is history, I would like to put the last slide. The first National Award winning Kannada movie, it was in 1954, was based on eye donation, and it was transferred in different languages. So the public could ratify it and agree to it, and the movie ran around 365 days. This is important because we verbally talking about it may not reach the public, but public are emotionally attached to the visual medias, so they can understand better in depth. So we should encourage more movies related to eye donation. Thank you.